The assessment. The Galactic Assessment Council's ship materialized above New Geneva with little warning. One moment the sky was clear, and the next, a vessel nearly 2 kilometers long hovered silently, its obsidian surface reflecting the morning sunlight in prismatic waves. Earth's defense systems detected nothing until it was already there, a technological blind spot that would later prove significant. Director Eliza Chen stood on the rooftop of the United Earth Government headquarters, squinting up at the alien vessel with a mixture of awe and apprehension. At 52, she had spent her career preparing humanity for this moment. First contact with an advanced civilization. Yet now that it had arrived, she felt woefully unprepared. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies," said Colonel Marcus Reed, his voice calm despite the situation. In perfect standard English. "What are they saying?" Eliza asked. "They're calling themselves the Galactic Assessment Council. They want to meet with Earth's leadership immediately. They say it's urgent." 6 hours later, Eliza sat across from 3 alien representatives in the UEG's main conference room. The aliens, who called themselves Venerians, were humanoid but distinctly foreign, with silvery skin that seemed to shift like mercury when they moved and eyes, with horizontal pupils, that dilated and contracted as they spoke. The central figure, who had introduced himself as High Assessor Telex, folded his 6-fingered hands on the table. "We have been monitoring your civilization for decades," Telex said, his voice melodic yet somehow mechanical. "Your recent achievements have necessitated direct intervention." Beside Eliza, Dr. Sanjay Kapoor, Earth's leading quantum physicist, shifted uncomfortably. "You mean our faster-than-light travel experiments?" "Among other developments," Telex replied. "Your approach to manipulating quantum fields is unusual, potentially destabilizing to established galactic technologies." "We developed independently," Eliza pointed out. "We had no knowledge of galactic standards." The Venerian to Telex's right, Assessor Nira, tilted her head at an uncomfortable angle. "That is precisely the issue, Director Chen. Most species develop along predictable technological paths when they reach your stage. Humanity has chosen unconventional methods. The implications hung heavy in the air. Earth had developed technology without guidance, without following the established patterns the Council expected. Eliza felt a small swell of pride beneath her diplomatic exterior. "The Council has authorized me to present terms," Telex continued, withdrawing a translucent tablet from his robes. "Earth will be granted provisional status in the galactic community, with restrictions." The restrictions were extensive and oppressive. Humanity would need to abandon their quantum resonance approach to FTL travel and adopt Council-approved methods. Earth would be limited to colonizing only 3 systems within the next century. All new technological developments would require Council approval before widespread implementation. And most troublingly, Earth would host a permanent Council delegation with unrestricted access to all research facilities. "This is not a negotiation," Assessor Nira added when she saw Eliza's expression. "These terms are for your protection and the stability of the galactic community." After the Venerians departed to their ship to allow Earth's leadership time to process, Eliza gathered her closest advisors in a secure underground facility. Dr. Kapoor paced furiously. "They're not concerned about stability," he fumed. "They're afraid of our approach. Our quantum resonance drive doesn't require the massive energy expenditure their methods do. It's more efficient by orders of magnitude." "But why would that frighten an advanced civilization?" asked Admiral Helena Torres, head of the United Earth Defense Force. "Surely they have technologies we can't even comprehend." "Because," said Dr. Weizong, Earth's foremost xenoanthropologist, "established powers rarely welcome disruption. Their entire interstellar economy and power structure may depend on controlling certain technological approaches. We represent unpredictability." Over the next 3 months, Earth appeared to comply with the Council's demands. The quantum resonance research was officially halted. Council observers were welcomed into research facilities around the planet. Eliza herself personally escorted High Assessor Telex on tours of Earth's most advanced laboratories. But deep beneath the Olympus Mons colony on Mars, in facilities shielded from Council detection, a different reality was unfolding. Dr. Kapoor and a team of Earth's brightest minds continued refining the quantum resonance technology, pushing it in directions even they hadn't previously considered. The breakthrough came when a junior researcher, Amina Dhawan, identified patterns in Council communications. They're constantly transmitting data back to some central hub, she told Eliza during a secure briefing. But they're using a quantum frequency we hadn't considered viable. It's elegant, actually. Further investigation revealed something disturbing. The Council wasn't merely observing Earth. They were subtly influencing it. Microscopic nanites had been detected in water supplies near major research centers, designed to minutely affect human brain chemistry, making researchers slightly more cautious, less creative, less willing to take risks. They'd done this before, Dr. John concluded after analyzing the data. The Council doesn't just assess new civilizations, they mold them, make them compliant, ensure they develop along approved paths. Admiral Torres slammed her fist on the table. We should confront them immediately. This is an attack on our sovereignty. Eliza raised her hand for silence. No. Direct confrontation would only confirm their fears about us. They'd likely respond with overwhelming force. She studied the holographic displays showing the nanite structures. We need to be smarter than that. If they expect compliance, we'll give them the appearance of it. While what? Dr. Kapoor asked. Secretly building weapons. Their technology is centuries beyond our military capabilities. A slow smile spread across Eliza's face. We won't fight them at all. We're going to disappear. 6 months into the Council's oversight of Earth, High Assessor Telex reported to the Central Authority that the human situation was stabilizing. Their dangerous quantum experiments had ceased. Their colonization efforts were proceeding along approved channels. The initial resistance to Council guidance had faded into acceptance. What Telex didn't report, what he couldn't know, was that beneath every major city on Earth, inside hollowed-out asteroids in the belt, and within the clouds of Venus and the ice of Europa, humanity was preparing for the most audacious act of defiance in their history. Not a shot would be fired, not a threat would be made, but the message would resonate across the galaxy. The silent revolution, the disappearance began slowly, so gradually that the Council observers didn't notice at first. A slight decrease in population in certain research centers. A reduced energy consumption pattern in specific cities. When questioned, Earth officials provided reasonable explanations. Demographic shifts, energy efficiency improvements, seasonal variations. The Venerians, accustomed to compliance from assessed species, didn't investigate too deeply. Their confidence in their control methods had made them complacent. The nanite program continued, subtly dampening human creativity and independence, or so they believed. In reality, Dr. Kapoor's team had developed countermeasures within weeks of discovering the nanites. More importantly, they had learned from the Council's technology, incorporating elements of it into their own quantum theories. The result was something unprecedented, a form of mass teleportation that operated on principles the Council had never explored. We've tested it successfully with 10,000 volunteers, Dr. Kapoor reported in an underground facility beneath the Antarctic ice shelf. The quantum displacement is instant and undetectable using Council scanning methods. Where are they now? Eliza asked. A habitable planet 27 light-years away, outside Council-monitored space. We've named it Haven. Admiral Torres studied the projection showing the successful teleportation. And the infrastructure? Already established, Dr. Kapoor replied. We've been sending components through for months, disguised as failed deep space probes. The volunteers have already begun assembly. Eliza nodded, her expression solemn. Begin Phase 2. Phase 2 was breathtaking in its ambition. Over the next year, under the guise of normal planetary activities, Earth prepared its civilization for exodus. Essential technologies were miniaturized and disguised. Cultural archives were digitized and duplicated. Seeds, embryos, and genetic samples of Earth's biodiversity were preserved and secretly transported. Most importantly, nearly 40% of Earth's population, over 3 billion people, were quietly informed of the plan and given the choice to stay or go. The teleportation centers operated continuously, hidden beneath ordinary structures or deep underground. Families, communities, entire research institutions quietly vanished from Earth, appearing moments later on Haven or one of the other 17 worlds humanity had secretly identified and begun developing. Council observers noted some population decline, but attributed it to a combination of natural disasters, lower birth rates, and migration to approved colony worlds. Their reports indicated that humanity was becoming more docile, more receptive to guidance. Exactly as planned. The final phase began exactly 2 years after the Council's arrival. Director Eliza Chen requested a formal meeting with High Assessor Telix aboard the Council ship. "We wish to express our gratitude," she told the Venerian, her demeanor appropriately humble. "Earth has benefited from Council wisdom. We request permission to hold a global celebration acknowledging 2 years of fruitful alliance." Telix was pleased. "This demonstrates satisfactory progress in your cultural integration." Permission granted. The celebration was scheduled for 3 days later. A global event with ceremonies in every major city. Council representatives were invited as honored guests. Media coverage would be extensive. On the appointed day, Telix and his assessment team descended to Earth's surface, prepared to accept the homage of another successfully managed species. They were escorted to a grand pavilion in New Geneva, where Earth's remaining leadership awaited. "Today marks a turning point," Eliza announced to the assembled dignitaries and the billions watching via broadcast. "Humanity has been assessed and guided by the Galactic Council, and we have learned much." Telix nodded appreciatively, his mercury-like skin rippling with satisfaction. "We have learned," Eliza continued, her voice strengthening, "about the true nature of the Council's guidance. We have learned about nanite manipulation, about deliberate suppression of innovation, about the carefully maintained power structures that keep emerging civilizations dependent." Telix rose sharply, his horizontal pupils narrowing to slits. "Director Chen, this is inappropriate." Eliza ignored him. "Most importantly, we have learned that the path to true freedom doesn't require confrontation or war. It requires imagination, the very quality the Council has attempted to suppress." At that moment, across Earth, in every city, town, and settlement, people began to vanish. Not in panic or chaos, but in organized groups, calmly walking into teleportation centers disguised as ordinary buildings. On the global broadcast, viewers watched as crowds simply disappeared, leaving empty streets behind. "What is happening?" Telix demanded, his composure fracturing as the pavilion audience itself began to thin, people vanishing row by row. "Humanity is leaving," Eliza said simply. "Not just this ceremony. We're leaving Earth. Over 80% of our population has already relocated to worlds beyond your knowledge or reach. The remainder will depart today." "Impossible," another Venerian assessor exclaimed. "Our ships monitor all space travel. No vessels have left this system." "We don't need vessels," Dr. Kapoor explained, appearing beside Eliza. "Your own quantum technologies gave us the final insights we needed. We've developed teleportation methods that operate on principles your Council has never explored, because your standardized development paths never allowed for them." Telix's silvery face darkened. "This is a violation of Council authority. Where have you taken your people?" "Beyond your reach," Admiral Torres stated flatly. "To worlds where we can develop without your guidance." All around them, the pavilion continued to empty. Earth's cities were growing silent. In the distance, power plants began systematic shutdowns as the last personnel departed. "You cannot simply abandon your homeworld," Telix protested, genuine confusion in his voice. "We're not abandoning it," Eliza corrected him. "We're preserving it. Without human interference, Earth's ecosystems will recover. We've left automated systems to protect it from exploitation, your exploitation." She stepped toward Telix, her expression not angry but resolute. "You came to assess us, to mold us into a civilization that wouldn't threaten your established order. But you fail to understand what makes humanity unique. We don't require conflict to overcome obstacles. We adapt. We imagine alternatives. We find another way." "The Council will find you," Telix threatened, though his voice lacked conviction. "No species can hide forever." "We're not hiding," Dr. Kapoor said. "We're simply beyond your reach. Our new homes exist in quantum states your sensors cannot detect because you never developed the theoretical framework to perceive them. They had their chance. Now humanity walks away in silence." As the last humans disappeared from the pavilion, Eliza remained, facing the Council representatives. "You're welcome to stay on Earth as long as you wish. Study our empty cities. Try to understand where we went and how we left. Perhaps it will help the Council recognize the cost of suppressing potential rather than nurturing it." She handed Telix a small device. "This contains coordinates to a single colony world where Council representatives will be welcomed in 100 years. By then, perhaps you'll be ready to meet humanity as equals rather than subjects to be assessed." Before Telix could respond, Eliza Chen vanished, the last human to leave Earth. The Council ship departed Earth's orbit a week later, leaving behind automated probes to monitor the abandoned planet. Their final report to the Central Authority was unprecedented. A complete civilization, nearly 8 billion strong, had simply vanished without violence or confrontation. On Haven and 17 other worlds across the galaxy, humanity began anew, free from Council influence. Their quantum technologies advanced rapidly without suppression, soon developing in directions no other species had explored. They built no weapons of war, no vast battle fleets. They had no need. Their very method of existence placed them beyond the Council's reach. A century later, when a Council ship cautiously approached the coordinates Eliza had provided, they found not a simple colony but a thriving civilization spanning multiple quantum-linked worlds. And waiting to greet them was a message from humanity. "We are ready for true exchange between equals. Are you?"